Today I'm going over 10 reasons why you probably have yet to move abroad or even travel abroad even though you really want to as a parent. The first reason why you haven't moved abroad, even though you want to, would be because you're afraid of financial ruin. You probably don't have your finances in order. Finances determine a lot of our ability to move and be flexible in our lives. You're probably wondering, what if I run out of money or I can't make enough money to support myself for the foreseeable future without a job or the way that my life currently is? This feeling can be really paralyzing and it keeps you stuck. This isn't just a feeling, this is a fear-based belief. This is something deep down inside that you believe to be true. One way you can combat this on your plan to moving abroad is by choosing geo arbitrage. Now, you may be wondering, what is geo arbitrage? I would explain it as taking money from your home country and going to another country where your currency is valued more. So that way you can get more bang for your buck or your dollar or your real or whatever you normally use to make transactions with. So if you earn income in a stronger economy like I did in my home country of the US, you can go ahead and take your money elsewhere to a place where your money stretches further. If you haven't already, I highly recommend my Moving Abroad Toolkit, where you can get the Moving Abroad calculator, which helps you crunch your specific numbers on how much it will cost you to move abroad, and also use the timeline generator. The second reason why you haven't moved abroad even though you want to is probably because of visas and paperwork nightmares that you may have. The visa process probably seems complicated, but it is actually extremely simple. You decide where you want to go, you look up their visa documents, you fill the documents out, you pay your fees, submit it, boom. If they have any questions, they'll reach out to you directly via email typically. If you have questions, you can call them directly via phone typically. And if there are no questions, you get your visa via email. It's amazing. You may be afraid to make a mistake or you may be afraid that you will get denied. Listen, they give you so many chances to correct paperwork, to turn in documentation. It's really hard to fail at getting a visa. You basically would have had to just give up. One way to combat this is to dedicate time to researching and understanding how the visa in your target country works. You're going to go directly to official embassy websites in order to find out what the regulations, the fees, and requirements are for your target country. This knowledge replaces your fear with clarity. Third thing that's keeping you from moving abroad, even though you want to, would be the fear of the unknown. A lot of people are afraid to change their habits, their location, change anything, which is completely understandable because humans are creatures of habits. So you have to understand and know, moving abroad requires you to gain a new set of habits, new sets of skills, new everything. So before you decide that you want to move abroad, really take note of all the things you are willing to change about your life. What do you actually want to change? I know for me, I was tired of hustling and bustling every day. I was tired of getting up every day doing the same exact thing, eating the same poisonous foods, drinking the same poisonous waters, watching the same toxic shows, scrolling about the toxic shows and all. I was tired of that. I wanted to get far, far away from that. I wanted to get far away from what seemed like just a part of my culture, because it wasn't just in my state, it was in my country. So I wanted to get away from a lot of things that I felt was holding me back personally. So think about some things that you may want to change, that you're open and willing to change, and how this move can allow that. How can you get further away from your community or your TV or your culture and get closer to a culture that values other things that are important to you? Maybe your health, maybe a higher quality of food, a higher quality of life. I know for me, I was particularly tired of winter. I did not want to experience snow. I did not want to experience months of gloomy, tiresome weather. I was over that, and I was completely willing to move abroad in order to do it. Instead of one big unknown, why don't we break it down into smaller things that you're unsure about? These things you can research. You can find other people who have gone through the same things as you and overcome. The fourth reason you haven't moved abroad, even though you really want to, is probably the biggest reason. Let's say guilt from friends or family. I know a lot of people suffer from guilt unknowingly. A lot of people feel bad for doing what they truly desire. If you're looking for permission from someone else to do what you truly desire, here's the permission. Go do what you want to do. Because when you prioritize yourself, everyone around you is much better for it. You don't have to, secretly give side eyes or secretly talk about people behind their back. There's so many things that you can eliminate doing when you just do you. A lot of people may worry, my loved ones might feel like I'm abandoning them, or what if my children don't really understand why we're moving? This is where you want to get really clear on what are your reasons for moving abroad. Are you abandoning your family? No, probably not. They'll still be able to call you. They'll still be able to text you. I'm sure you probably don't see your family every day anyway. If you do, not talking about you, but for those that don't, maybe you see your family every other weekend or maybe once a month. This is not going to really change the way that you interact with your family unless you want it to. Now, you will have to put effort into answering calls, making phone calls, all of these things. But moving abroad doesn't have to stop you or make you disappear. You want to remind yourself that if moving abroad is something that you want to do, it's for you. It's for probably your mental health. It's for probably your overall health and just your overall quality of life. I know it was for me. As I said before, I have been a business owner for the last 15 years, and in the last 5 years, I've experienced extreme burnout. And it's a deep-seated burnout that was caused by being stagnant in my life, where I was living the same year of my life over and over and over. And yeah, I made some lateral moves. Yeah, I had success in all of the areas that I wanted. However, I was not happy. I was not happy working long hours. I was not happy not being able to homeschool my daughter. I was not happy with anything. And I know for me, moving abroad has given me the peace of mind where I'm not so hustle and bustle focused. I'm not so worried about what my sacrifices will ultimately bring me. I don't have to sacrifice anything to have the life that I want to live because I deserve that life. If God put it in my mind to have, then it's for me to have. The fifth reason why you haven't moved abroad, even though you really want to, is because you may be a parent. You may be a solo parent. And if you are a parent on your own, you're probably thinking, wow, that's a whole lot to do on my own where I may be having no support system. Hell, I'll have to spend every waking moment with my child. That could be scary. I know it's a thing, okay? I've dealt with it myself, and also just knowing that you won't be able to go to the store by yourself, go on a night on a town, that is psychologically scary. But we have to start to realize What are the things that we really and truly want out of our lives? I can't just say that I want to nurture my child and be there with my child, but I'm scared to actually spend the time, do the effort, do the thing that it takes for that specific outcome. We have to really make sure that our words and our actions are aligned here. Is that something that you truly want? And maybe you don't want to homeschool your kid. Maybe you don't want to be alone with your kid all day. Can you send them to school? Can they go to a daycare? What are your other options? You don't have to do it alone. You can create new systems, new communities, and new support systems for yourself. Also be just worrying, like, you may also just be worrying, like, the logistics of planning a move abroad is crazy. Imagine planning a vacation. Now, imagine planning moving to a new country where you don't have a return ticket back to everything that you just know. You'll literally be starting over. That can be really scary. And here's the thing. If you want to move abroad, only thing I can really suggest to combat with fear is excitement. Be excited about your move. Watch videos. Watch other people who've done what you are wanting to do and realize that it's possible. It's step by step. It's not a mountain. It's not an overnight thing at all. You're going to want to know a lot of specific details about your move in order for you to feel comfortable. The sixth reason why you want to move abroad, but you just haven't, is because you doubt yourself way too much. You can't keep teeter-tottering on the line of life. Either you're going to do it big or you're going to stay at home. And I can't speak for you, but at the end of my life, I want to say that I did. Not that I tried, not that I wished, that I hope. I did that. And whatever came of it, but at least I did what I knew that I was supposed to do in the moment. I did it smart, I did it resourceful, and I did it knowledgeable. Okay? You don't have to just dump everything and run. You want to tie up loose ends. You want to handle your business like you know you can. You may be wondering, am I smart enough? Am I strong enough? Can I just do this? Am I brave enough to leave everything I know and find something new? Yes, you are. You can, if you want to. Look back on all the incredible challenges that you have already overcome in this lifetime. You've already done so many hard things, and breaking down a move abroad into many steps is something you can do. Every tough day you've already navigated through is just proof that you can look back on and say, you know what, I've been through quite a bit of things and I overcome. I figure things out. And that is the motto that you're just going to be living by going forward. The seventh reason why you haven't moved abroad but you want to is because you have a fear of failure. And let me tell you here and now, you may be wondering, what if I do all this work and it doesn't work out, or I can't figure it out, or I have to return home for some reason? Guess what? Home is called home for a reason. It's a place you can always come back to. There's nothing wrong with that. And even if you do have to come back, maybe you have to reprioritize. Maybe you have to do some things or handle some business while you're here and go back out into the world. That's fine. That's fine. Nobody can tell you how your story should be written. And it's also just about the way that you position yourself to succeed. During this process of planning your move abroad, we are planning for success. We are preparing to succeed. So as long as you're focused on that and focused on finding the answers to your questions, it doesn't matter how long it takes. It really doesn't. It doesn't matter how long it takes, and it doesn't matter how many times you have to make the attempt. You want to stay focused on what your end goal is. And I guarantee you, if you follow the steps that I've laid out for you specifically, because these are steps that I've done, a swift, I would say fast plan and system to move abroad, I had no savings. Not just no savings to move abroad, but no savings until I created this system, created multiple savings plans and strategies, so that way I felt safe and I felt comfortable moving abroad with my child as a solo parent. If I can do it, you can do it. Having a backup plan and having other plans, strategies, and funds is extremely helpful. Knowing what you're going to do. Hey, let's say you go out there and you're having a blast for 90 days on your visa, and you know what? For whatever reason, you have to come back home. Hell, you have money to do that. Go sleep on a friend's couch. No, but seriously, create a fund and create plans to succeed. The 8th reason why you want to move abroad but you have not is because you're afraid of how your child will adjust. Listen, the best parental advice I can give, take this if you take it, okay? But if you're at ease, then your child will be at ease. If you feel safe, then your child will feel safe. Period. If you're doing the things that you're supposed to do in a mindset, in a mind frame that you understand, you should have no problem communicating that to your kid. Like, hey, I want to move abroad because I'm overwhelmed and tired, and I know that our lives can be better somewhere else. And here's how. I will prove it to you. I'll show you videos. I will educate you. I educated my daughter every step of the way about what it was like to get on an airplane, what it was like to get on a boat, what it's like to get on a bus, what it's like to live in other countries. Not just Brazil, even though that's where we settled, but we looked at Thailand, we looked at Mexico, we looked at so many places. So that way when we have to walk to the store to get groceries sometimes, or we have to Uber, or we do this or that and I don't drive anymore, and this and that and the third, or we have to get on a ferry to get to our next thing, she's not shocked by any of this. She's seen it and now she's doing it, and it kind of is like exciting for her because she gets to check off boxes on her own list of things to do or experience that we've seen. You want to talk to your kids about the move abroad, what it means to move abroad, how things will change. I was extremely upfront, like, hey, from the very beginning, I want to move abroad and it would be cool to get on an airplane and this and that. And I would just constantly watch YouTube videos and be like, that's what I want to do. And that's something I want to experience. And just my feelings about it rolled over to her. And yeah, once we've been here, she's been like, oh, you know, like, this is why we did all of this. I see now. I understand now. And it's really great to make good on a promise or something you've told your child you'll do for them. It's a really empowering thing for both you and them. It builds a lot of trust and respect. The 9th reason you haven't moved abroad, even though you want to, is because you're worried about healthcare. Listen, I'm going to put it plain and simple. Healthcare is out there and it is affordable. You can go to a country that has free healthcare. That's what I did. Or you can still get outside or private healthcare plans that are extremely affordable. I happen to still do so, even though I live in a country that has free healthcare, because I'm an American and I'm supposed to be freaking out about healthcare every 5 seconds. So I chose to have Safety Wing. It's been incredible, and my daughter is free on my plan. Go check it out. The 10th reason why you want to move abroad but you haven't yet is because you are afraid losing comfort, and familiarity. A lot of people are afraid of that. It's kind of like the situation with the devil you know. You may want to get outside of this comfort zone, but what's out there? Because of the way that our human DNA is created over time, it's ingrained in us to think that immediate death is outside of our comfort zone, and this is just not true. So plan for success, do all the things that you need to do, get my moving abroad toolkit, use the calculator, use the generator. If you are ready for a comprehensive plan, get the moving abroad checklist workshop and go through all the questions you can possibly have, okay? Keep learning, keep finding ways to love your life, and I'll see you on the other side.